afternoon. This one is for Steph Bott. I'm going to try and post this as a response to your video. I don't know if you take video responses or not, but I watched your Environmentalist video and can't say that I really agree with it. You seem to be beyond libertarian and way out into the domain of anarcho-capitalism and all those fine folk, but I want to talk about it. This is mostly not about environmentalism, but the government, it seems like, and you just keep going on and on about how evil the government is, and it's just no. First of all, you dig on environmentalists and that they are. It's basically the core of your argument against environmentalists is ad hominem. You just sort of mention briefly that, oh well, environmentalism is a bunch of hogwash or whatever, and then you go on to say, oh, all people who are call themselves environmentalists are just disturbed and they had bad childhoods or some stupid thing like that, which I can't really say that I take that very seriously, and I hope everyone else watching this doesn't take it seriously. I mean, people who just hate environmentalists to begin with, they're gonna say, oh yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about, but I think it's ridiculous as to consider that as a serious argument. I can't really think of any people I know that are environmentalists that are that did have bad childhoods, but first of all, let me just bring to your attention the CFCs, which first of all, it has been demonstrated beyond controversy, the causal relationship between increased CFCs in the atmosphere and depletion of the ozone layer, which has tremendously adverse effects on UV ray blockage. And what's more, it has been curved by the Montreal Protocol, which is a joint effort between several industrialized nations, which is essentially couldn't have been done without the help of governments. But moving on to the main point of this video, which was about essentially how governments are evil. You said something like, you got this 40-minute long video, I've only seen it once, but about the government, how the government is violence, and how most people don't take that seriously because basically what I take you're saying is they're sheep, and they just buy into this argument that governments aren't violence without thinking it through, and only if only they had given it as much thought as you had, then they just come to the natural conclusion that governments are evil and should never exist, or something like that. It just doesn't make any sense. You have the mentality which most of the really hardcore libertarians do, which is that somehow the government causes people to do evil things which they wouldn't have done otherwise. I mean, there's a certain type of people that seeks to attain power in whatever way they can, and if there isn't a government for them to abuse power with, then they'll do it through a private company. I mean, I think corruption transcends public and private. I think that the best way to curb this corruption is to pit public and private interests against each other. I mean, it's possible to dismiss that private companies could do evil things is ridiculous. I mean, greedy people are going to abuse their power. People who are going to abuse their power are going to do it in whatever way they can, even if there's no government in place. I mean, what is it that makes you think that just because there's no government, people are going to magically stop being corrupt? That doesn't make any sense to me. Let's see, what else are you talking about? I can't help but wonder what it is that made you so much of an anti-government zealot. I mean, I don't know, you keep repeating this notion that government, the way you tell it's almost as if government exists without the consent of the people, as if government is some foreign entity, as if it sort of came down from outer space and took over the society that had never wanted it and never will want it, but somehow it managed to seize power. But I just wanted to read you the one passage from the U.S. Declaration of Independence that says, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it. So, I mean, it's our duty to be watchful of the government, of course, but if the government can do things more efficiently that we would not be able to accomplish in an anarcho-capitalist state, then I mean, just you spend lots of time driving. Imagine if the roads were all private. Imagine like you're on like Johnson Boulevard or something like that, and then you have to pay a toll, and then you get on Market Avenue, and then you have to pay another toll, and every time you turn you have to pay a toll. I mean, surely it would make more sense to have a centralized institution building the roads. I'd hate to live in a place where you'd have to pay a toll each road you go onto, and that's stupid. There's certain things that need to be done by a central authority, and lest to become a monopoly, it needs to have some sort of check, so why not have it be accountable to the public? And that is essentially government. It just doesn't make any sense to have everything private. It seems like that would ultimately lead to more carnage, and you claim to hate violence and everything, but wouldn't you want to find a solution that would, a practical solution that would lead to the least violence? I mean, it seems like your opposition to government is more dogmatic than anything else. It's not rooted in practice or anything like that. So yeah, that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed it, although you probably didn't listen to half of it, so yeah. Well, have fun with your car videos.